The Chargers certainly have not looked like an elite football team this season. They have dealt with injuries, but the defense hasn't been good. They got absolutely killed by Nick Chubb on the ground, and the defense did come up with some crucial stops. They got an interception, of course, off of Brissett that was key. But the Chargers being 3-2, it hasn't been the start to the season that we've all kind of hoped for, and there's still plenty of time to turn around. I know Joey Bosa has been out. Of course, he was placed on the IR, so like I said, the health just hasn't been there, but the team really needs to get it going. I mean, Brandon Staley, he made some horrible decisions in the game against the Cleveland Browns. He went for it on 4th and 1 on his own 46 with 73 seconds left to play. At that point, it was a 2-point game, and that wasn't the only time that Staley got bailed out, right? The field goal would be no good. But also Austin Eckler, 173 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Mike Williams, 10 catches for 134 yards. Both of those guys had huge games. Mike Williams, last game, had another good game. So the playmakers are showing up. Of course, Justin Herbert is top 5 in passing, which is not a surprise. I mean, Justin Herbert is that dude. But being 3-2, it's not the end of the world. Like, the Raiders are 1-4. Like, the Chargers shouldn't be panicking or anything like that. But they have to come out here and put up points against the Broncos. I understand a win's a win, but at the same time, the Chargers are not an elite football team right now. The defense has been inconsistent. It's looked good at times. It's looked horrendous. More often than not, it's looked horrendous. Offensively speaking, the Chargers they're getting their playmakers involved, but they haven't really been putting together the types of games that I said that we've hoped for. And against the Broncos at home on Monday Night Football, they're going to have a huge opportunity to do that. I mean, you look at the Denver Broncos, they're putting up 343.6 yards per game, which is actually more than I thought. The Chargers are putting up 390. But the Broncos are putting up 15 points per game, which is the big thing. The Chargers are putting up 24.4. So these two teams offensively are just on different levels. I mean, Russ is averaging 231 yards a game in the air. They're rushing 112.6, which is actually more per game than the Chargers, which is kind of surprising. I mean, not really, I guess, but Javonte Williams is out for the year with that ACL tear. So the Broncos defense, it's allowing 16 points per game. That's the big thing. The Broncos have an elite defense. I have the numbers in front of me. I mean, they're allowing 112 rushing yards, 176.6 passing yards, which is crazy. They just went up against Matt Ryan, though, so that kind of skewed it. But the Broncos have a defense. The Chargers, they're trying to get things together. This is a really good test for the Chargers. I mean, I know the Broncos are 2-3 and they're not that good, but let's see what the Chargers can do against their defense that has been holding teams. And also on the flip side, let's see how the Chargers defense looks against one of the worst offenses in football. And who would have thought coming into the season that the Broncos would have one of the worst offenses with Melvin Gordon, Williams, and Judy, Sutton. Patrick got injured, unfortunately, but Russell Wilson. But the scheme is just much different. Russ is adjusting to the scheme in Denver. You also have to understand that the offensive line has been really bad. So, I mean, Russ being in Seattle for all those years with Pete Carroll was a luxury, and it's safe to say that Russell Wilson is not the same guy. It's not even that he's not the same guy as he once was. Maybe he's just not as good as we thought. I mean, I never thought I'd say that. I thought Russell would legit make the Broncos a contender, but despite that, I still had the Broncos finishing in last place in all my predictions. It would usually go. Sometimes I'd put the Chargers over the Chiefs, but more often than not, I'd go Chiefs, I'd go Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. I mean, obviously the Chargers can still win this division, but the Chiefs just are on a much different level than the Chargers. Like, even Charger fans are going to admit that. But again, it's a long season, plenty of time to get things on track. There's a good chance that the Chargers can win this division. The Chargers can finish the year as the best team. Like, you just don't know. It's football. But as of right now, the Chargers definitely are not playing the level of football that we expected. But there is a lot of optimism. I mean, let's take a look at the Chargers' schedule. I mean, getting back on track here against the Broncos would be big. They just picked up a road win against the Browns, which is good, and they've got the Seahawks and the Falcons. So you've got Denver, Seattle, Falcons. So you've got 3 completely winnable games. Now, the Seahawks and Falcons are much improved. I mean, these are teams that we all expected to be at the bottom, and they have played much better than we thought. But teams you have no excuse to lose to. You also have no excuse to lose to a divisional game at home with how Denver has looked. I mean, if Denver comes out aggressive here and gets things on track against you, like in your own stadium, I mean, there's going to be some issues here. There's going to be some serious issues. So, and then after that, you've got the 49ers, Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Dolphins, Titans, Colts, Rams, and then Broncos. That is a lot of talented football teams. I'm a Colts fan, and right now, we obviously are not as good as the Chargers, but with what Nick Chubb just did to this team, and also the Colts have a pretty good defense, far from the defense it was last year, but I mean, the Browns, the Colts are obviously a better football team than the Browns. I mean, I'm biased, but I mean, the Colts are horrible, bro. They're the worst offense in the league, but the Chargers probably would easily beat us. But I mean, that's not an easy game. Like, the Titans is not an easy game. I mean, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, some pretty solid defenses. So the Chargers, that's why I'm saying they need to get back on track here. Like, you pulled out a road win against Denver, great, but it's only going to get tougher from here. So I just need to see the Chargers go out there and just execute and fairly. It shouldn't come down to a game-winning field goal. Staley shouldn't be making poor decisions as well. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys, man. Thunder LA. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Help YouTube algorithm. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my weekly Charger uploads. And I appreciate you guys, man. I'll see you in the next one. Later.